Comic book fans are a diverse bunch, but they pretty much all have one dream in common: to develop superpowers, then use them to fight off a zombie uprising. But you don't have to look in the pages of comics to find amazing super abilities. Many real-world animals have powers that would make even Superman jealous. In the animal kingdom, animals with superpowers aren't as showy as their human counterparts. When they maim an enemy or gain the upper hand over their environment, you probably won't hear much more than a quiet. In today's video, we'll meet the animals in our world, and some that can even survive outside our world, with superpowers that might seem fantastic, even to the folks at DC and Marvel. First on our list of animals with enviable powers is the seemingly innocent wood frog, or Rana sylvatica. This little jumper's persona is as boring as Clark Kent.
What?
It lives in North America, way up in the Arctic Circle. Most of its days are spent doing frog things like jumping and climbing. Nothing to see here. Until, of course, the first sign of the winter freeze. Because as soon as these guys find their skin feeling the sting of a serious cold, they freeze. The water in their bodies does indeed turn to ice, while the syrup-like liquid inside their cells stays viscous. For all intents and purposes, a wood frog in winter imitates a dead frog. No organ functions, no breathing. But come springtime, the ice melts and the wood frog's blood begins circulating. The frog starts functioning as normal again about 30 minutes after the ice melts. No harm done. I can't help but compare wood frog to Killer Frost. There's a reason why Spider-Man makes for a better superhero than, say, Golden Retriever Man. Nothing against our canine friends, but spiders have the upper hand, or rather leg, when it comes to awesome biological functions and tricks. After all, it's not really a superpower to roll over and play dead. But you know what is? Producing giant webs of shockingly strong silk to trap enemies. And that's exactly what Darwin's bark spider, or Carostris darwini, does. This species of spider weaves enormous webs that span across bodies of water, with anchor strands up to 82 feet or 25 meters long. Scientists decided to test the spider's silk strength, and they found that the strands were twice as tough as any other silk ever studied, and 10 times stronger than Kevlar. The synthetic fiber of high tensile strength used especially as a reinforcing agent for things like bulletproof vests. This silk can resist an incredible amount of kinetic energy without breaking, so no measly insect can escape the bark spider's web once it's caught. Tardigrades, otherwise known by their adorable nickname of water bears, are plump little animals about 1/4 to 1/2 millimeter long. In fact, they even have their very own phylum. These microscopic invertebrates probably live in your backyard, as they can be found in just about every environment. They particularly love moss and beach sediment, and they prefer to stay away from extreme climates. But what makes these tiny, quiet guys so superb? Well, because while they don't like extreme climates, tardigrades are shockingly adaptable to the craziest environments on the planet, and off the planet too. We're not talking can survive at the bottom of the ocean here. Tardigrades can actually survive 6 times the amount of pressure you'd find at the bottom of the ocean. These water bears can also survive water that is up to 300 degrees Fahrenheit or 149 degrees Celsius, which is way above boiling. But their biggest accomplishment? Tardigrades can actually survive in space if they have to, and that is a place not exactly known for its abundant life. So, how do they do it? With a superpower called cryptobiosis, wherein the water bear dehydrates itself and can live for years with very little metabolic function. And whenever it comes in contact with water, the little guy rehydrates and comes back to life. Archerfish. The cyclops of the Piscine world, the archerfish, a member of the family Toxotidae, can target and hunt an enemy with serious precision. But while Marvel's Cyclops shoots optic blasts from his eyes that knock out nemesis, an archerfish has an arguably less elegant weapon of choice, a finely aimed stream of spit-out water that can take down villains. What's so extraordinary about a spitting fish? Consider this situation. A fish hangs out just below the surface of a body of water and is looking up at an insect flying above it. The archerfish has to somehow compensate for the refraction of the water, which will affect its aim, and then adjust the angle it spits out the water at so it can hit the insect overhead. What happens next is indeed an impressive feat. The archerfish aims its jet of water so carefully that the tiny insect it's targeting is struck prone, and the aquatic sharpshooter is able to catch it at its direct landing spot in the water. Zap indeed! Most superheroes don't get to bask in the glory of recognition from their communities. Many live double lives, of course, or the public simply misunderstands their motivations. Batman doesn't get the keys to Gotham. Spider-Man doesn't always get a hero's welcome in New York. But the amazing naked mole rat, or Heterocephalus glaber, an animal with a superpowered immune system, was named Vertebrate of the Year in 2013 by Science magazine. Now, don't be too outraged that you lost out to a mouse-sized, hairless, buck-toothed competitor. These unnerving-looking creatures very much deserve the honor. That's because instead of its immunity to radiation or injury, the naked mole rat seems to be immune to cancer. And this superpower makes them a boon to scientists desperate to know more about the disease and how it affects humans. They've already discovered that mole rats have an abundance of the substance hyaluronan in its tissues that seems to impede the creation of tumors, and also that mole rats seem to build new proteins spectacularly well. Both factors could explain why their lifespan is around 30 years, which is 9 times longer than mice. A pretty amazing creature. So I guess after all, superheroes really cannot compare to these incredible creatures. Or, simply put, these creatures should make all superheroes feel ashamed. Mother Nature often has some marvelous and downright terrifying tricks up her sleeve. What would be your superpower if you had one? Tell us in the comments below. And if you liked this video, please make sure to give us a big thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss anything from Wildpedia.